All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to begin by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to hopefully elect. All right, so for this video, you see the title of the video. I'm just gonna read this verse in the book of Romans, and then we're kind of just going to expound on it very briefly, right? I was watching the elder apostle Tahar's video where he was breaking down I think it was 1 Timothy 2, and then because the Hassad had like a debate with some guy. I don't know the other guy's name, but the elder apostle Tahar was doing a reaction video to it, and then he mentioned Romans 9, which made me go to it and reflect. Right, so that's where the inspiration for the video came in. Right, so that being said, this is Romans 9, and well, I'll read verse 1. I'll just read down to 4, and then we can just go from there. So you see the title, it says solicitude for Israel, right? It says, Romans 9:1, it says, I say the truth in Hamashiach. And before I start, so let me turn that on. From the top, Romans 9:1, it says, I say the truth in Hamashiach Allah, not my conscience also bear me witness in the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. And again, the point of the video is verse 4, right? So let's break it down. It says, who are Israelites, right? So this is Paul saying what? Who is his brethren, his kinsmen, according to the flesh? Israelites. So everything that he's about to expound on after this point, it deals with Israel, those who are descendants of Jacob, right? Whose name was later changed to Israel. Those who are descendants from the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And that's it. You can't take this and apply it to any other nation whatsoever, right? So again, Romans 9:4 start from the top. Who are Israelites? To whom, right? Which is, so if you read to whom, you know, and I'm not an English teacher, but when you read this deals with like ownership, right? To whom, right? To this person, to that person, right? It's ownership, right? It's a simple, simple English, right? It says, so to whom pertaineth the adoption. So this is who this pertains to. Everything that he's about to say pertains to who? Israel. And it's as simple as that, right? You can't warp other people into this, right? So he's about to name everything that that pertains to Israel. So the first one is what? The adoption, right? What adoption is he talking about, right? When you go into same chapter, not same chapter, it's like the same book, chapter 11, correct? Yeah, chapter 11, when it talks about being grafted in, right? Which also, I saw a video from the elder in GMS, South Carolina. He also, a lady was talking about it, but it's, yeah, but, so when it talks about being grafted in, that pertains to who? Israel, right? Because, and you know, we can go there. I want to get straight to the point. I'll start at 25. Romans 11:25. It says, for I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, right? This was a mystery because, there was a break off between the northern and the southern kingdom, right? The northern kingdom, when they got dispersed, right? They went into slavery, they went into captivity, so on and so forth. They took on the likeness of other nations, such as the Greek captivity, right? You go read the book of Maccabees, so on and so forth. Get the history, right? So when it was time for them to come back in, right, the reconciliation of Israel, right, this was a big mystery. This was a big controversy, so on and so forth, right? So again, Romans 11:25 from the top says, "For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in." And again, right, these Gentiles are talking about people who are Israelites who don't know it, Israelite foreigners, right? Let's to prove that point, that you can at a time be a Gentile. I think it might be Ephesians. I don't want to say it wrong. I can't remember. First Corinthians, this is 1 Corinthians 12:2. It says, "Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led." So meaning what? Carried away. We were carried away. We were Gentiles at a point in time, right? Because we did not know who we were, right? That's Isaiah was at 1:3, right? The ox knoweth his owner, and his ass his master's crib, but yet Israel doth not know, right? My people doth not consider, roughly paraphrasing, right? So we were all once Gentiles at a point in time. So back to Romans 11:26, it says, "And so all Israel shall be saved." So you read the bottom part of verse 25, how it said that blindness in part is happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in, and so all Israel shall be saved. So this is this basically just laid it all out for you right there. When these Gentiles, meaning Israelite foreigners, when they come back in, right, then that's going to be all of Israel, right? Because Israel can be Gentiles, right? It's just it's a state of mind, it's a state of being, right? In this context. To continue on, verse 26, it says, "As it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. For this is my covenant unto them." And that's going to make sense too as we continue to read verse 4 in chapter 9, right? It says, "When I shall take away their sins," and where is the? I was trying to get straight to the point. It's like it. I think I read past it. Oh, I did. So but that was still in the same spirit. This is Romans 11, and I started 19, right? It says, "Thou will say then the branches were broken off, that I might be grafted in." Well, because of unbelief, they were broken off, meaning what? These Israelites had unbelief, meaning they went into these other nations. They took on the likenesses of the heathen. They took on the customs, the so on and so forth, the traditions of the heathen, right? They're being broken off. It says, and thou standest by faith, be not high-minded, but fear. For if the Most High spare not the natural branches, take heed lest he also spare not thee. Behold, therefore, the goodness and severity of the Most High on them which fail severity, but toward thee goodness, if thou continue in his goodness, otherwise thou also shalt be cut off. Right? Verse 23, it says, "And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. For the Most High is able to graft them in again. So how can this be talking about the heathen? If it says graft them in again. We all know throughout the entire Old Testament, it's always been Israel. The heathen has never been a part of this tree that is talking about, right? The heathen have never been a part of it. So how can it say graft them in again? That means it's talking about Israelite foreigners, those who were carried away, those who went into captivity, those who were dispersed, the diaspora, right? So those are going to be the ones who get adopted back in. Yeah, simple as that. Those are going to be the ones who get adopted back in. So that's what that adoption is referring to, which it already said, because like you said, to who pertaineth the adoption, to whom? The Israelites, back here in Romans 9:4. So the next thing it says what? In verse 4 of Romans 9, it says, and the glory, right? And the covenants, right? Who were the covenants made with? It's in Jeremiah 30 and Hebrews 8. He made them with Israel. And I mean, let's go. We'll get the one in Hebrews. Just for the people who say, well, that was in the Old Testament in Jeremiah 30. All right, let's get it in the New Testament, Hebrews 8. Hebrews 8 and start at 7. Oh, Jeremiah 31, not 30, Salakia. But you see the title, it says a new covenant, right? Hebrews 8 and 7, it says, for if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their Wait, let me slow down, because you see right there in verse 8, he just said, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Why did he make a distinction between the two? Because it was a northern and a southern kingdom, right? They were separate. And that's it. He doesn't name, he didn't say with the house of Israel, Judah, Edom, Ammon, Ishmael. He didn't say any other nations but the nation of Israel, the northern and the southern kingdom, right? So, again, that's that covenant that is speaking about. So continuing on, the next part, hold on, Salaki. The next part, it says what? And the giving of the law, right? Who was the law given to? The law was given to Israel. When you go into the books of Leviticus and all of these, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, Moses, when he went up on the mountain, it was always given to Israel. The other nations were never a part of this thing, right? This is Psalms. Well, let me just do it like this. Oh, I don't think I want Psalms. I can't remember. Maybe it is Psalms. I was right. Psalms 147 and 20, or I start at 19. It says, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord, man. So again, he doesn't deal with these other nations. You know, it's always been about Israel. Simple, right? The next one, it says, and going back to Romans 9 and 4, it says, and the service of the Most High, and the promises of what? The kingdom. It's all for Israel, man. The script, what do the scriptures tell you? All things work together for the good of those who love the Most High. And who truly loves the Most High? Israel. Because you have to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, which was only given to Israel, in order to truly love the Most High. That's 1 John 5:3. Right? So, that's the end of that verse, man. So that's all I want to do. I just wanted to go into that verse, just really because it's a cold cut. You can't get around it. Right. So, Lord willing, this is edifying. We're going to end by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to hopefully elect.